Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock. It's time for another video, and today I'm going to be back. I'm back with a review show revisited. Now, what is a review show revisited? Well, the idea is very, very simple. Basically, we take a trick that we've talked about on the channel or reviewed on the channel. It could be a review on a 5x5 or a review show special or a Craig and Ryland review show or anything else. We'll take a review that we've done and we'll go and try it out in the real world. We'll do some live performances of that trick, and then you'll see the live performance, and then we'll talk about whether it works as well as we expected that it would. These review show revisiteds are always really popular because people tend to love it on the channel when we do live performances of various different tricks, but also it allows us to see whether a particular routine will work in the real world or will it not work in the real world. Well, today I've got 3 tricks that we performed at the House of Secrets recently. 2 tricks by Ryland, 1 trick by me. So you're going to see the live performances, and we're going to talk about what we actually thought having performed it in the real world. So without further ado, let's get straight into the first item on this week's review show revisited. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to be looking at right now is sketching Svengali. Now, myself and Ryland reviewed sketching Svengali recently. It's a new trick, newish. It came out about 3 months ago. New trick from Mark Shortland. And if you don't know who Mark Shortland is an incredible comedy magician based in the UK. He is very, very funny. He is a great stage performer, but also a great close-up performer. Spends a lot of time working on ships, does a lot of magic conventions, and is just an all-round nice guy. He's one of these people that will help you with absolutely anything. I've got a lot of time for Mark Shortland. He's a diamond, he really is. So he brought out a trick recently called Sketching Svengali. And Sketching Svengali is based, it's Sketching Svengali 2.0. Now, the original Sketching Svengali came out years and years and years ago, and this is a new version based on Lego characters. So as you can imagine, if you didn't see the review that myself and Ryland gave it, we both raved about it. Ryland loves anything to do with Lego, and this was no exception. We both said that this would work fantastic for a kids show. It would also work fantastic for a stand-up show. It would also work fantastic for a family show. Well, Ryland immediately decided that he wanted to put it into his show. Not only did he want to put it into his show, but he wanted to make it a feature of his show, which is why we had a couple of t-shirts designed up. Because obviously, with the original Sketching Svengali 2.0, the routine is done and you've got a prediction in an envelope, and then after the prediction in the envelope you've also got another prediction which is a little bag with a Lego character in it. Now, for stage, having that Lego character doesn't really work out too well, but Ryland's still using the prediction envelope, absolutely for sure, 100%. But as well as using the prediction envelope, he's also had the prediction printed on a t-shirt as well. So he's got his hoodie zipped up and he's putting this in fairly early on in his show, and he's finishing off with the revelation that the thing was on his hoodie the whole time, which is a really nice way of doing this actually when you think about it, because you've got multiple hits. It's kind of like, hey, I predicted this, but not only that, I predicted this, which is super cool. I'm going to show you the performance of Ryland doing it first of all. So let's have a look at a performance of Ryland doing Sketching Svengali at the House of Secrets, and then we'll talk about what we think.
Now, let me show you something using another favourite toy of mine, Lego. With Lego, I can create anything in my imagination. Now, I usually use the mini character creator. Now, before I show you what that is, I've got a prediction. Can you just hold on to that for me? Great. So, the mini character creator is like a book. And it's got like all these different characters in, as you can see. We got these. Show you, and I'll show you. You can see they're all different, yeah? So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 3 people to say stop whenever they want. And what's going to happen is they get to choose the heads, the middles, and the legs. And when they say stop, that's body part that we're going to use. So, do you want the heads, the middles, or the legs? Anyone? Heads, middles, legs. Heads, so this one. Now what you're going to do, as I said, is you're going to say stop whenever you want. Stop. There? So, a few more, was that it? Yeah, okay. So, you want the middle or the legs? Legs. Now just say stop whenever you want. A few more, is that it? That's it. And you, just say stop whenever you want. You got the middle, so just say stop whenever you want.
Stop.
There? A few more, is that it?
That's it.
That's it. So, do you want to see the character that we've got?
Yeah.
Okay, well this is the character. We've got policeman's head, we've got a pirate's middle, and we've got a tiger's legs. Now that's pretty confusing, but let me show you something cool. You've been holding on to that prediction the whole time. Just going to take that. Now, before I show you what this is, I want you to see that there is nothing else inside. Nothing else, yeah? Put that in there. So, the character that we have on this piece of paper is
Wow.
Policeman's head, pirate's head, and tiger's legs. Thing is, I've been wearing this hoodie the whole time, and underneath the hoodie on the t-shirt I have policeman's head, pirate's head, and tiger's legs.
Ryland do this a few times now, and what I've found really interesting is that the adults buy into it just as much as the kids did. I made a point in the original review that this is probably more of a kids show trick, and I think it would work great for kids shows, absolutely. In fact, I've put it in a couple of kids shows and it's gone brilliantly. But this is also the sort of thing that works really well in a family show. And I think that most people these days love Lego or are aware of Lego. Most parents are aware of Lego, and their feet are definitely aware of Lego. But you know, you've got a lot of adults now that like collect Lego and build Lego, and it's kind of a really big thing. Lego is probably more popular now than ever before. So when you have this hook line of, hey, I want to show you something using Lego, it brings everybody in, not just the kids, but the adults as well. The other thing that I picked up from watching Ryland perform this is it's super fair. When you actually think about what's happening, and you actually, now obviously from our point of view, the name's in the trick, right? It's sketching Svengali. It's the Svengali principle. But think about it from a audience's point of view. You show that every single one of those strips are completely different. You then give them a free choice of stopping where they want to. You can give them a choice of where to start and which ones to go to next and which one to go to next. When they stop, you can say, would you like to carry on? It's really fair. It feels very random when you get to the point where you say, hey, let me show you the Lego character that you created. And you look at it, it's very, very fair at that point. But then you just come back and you go, well, you know what? I knew you'd do that. You don't believe me? Boom. And, you know, the use of giving the envelope out at the beginning is great. The use of actually having 3 people from the audience to say stop anytime they want to. I love that because it makes it more interactive from the audience. I love that you don't have to bring somebody up on stage to do this routine. You can hand the envelope out to somebody in the audience. But even without having to bring somebody up on stage, you've still got this really nice moment of, you know, hey, boom, boom, boom. You know, it's really good. So it definitely passes the review show revisited test. Both myself and Ryland thought it would be really good in a real world environment where there's nothing more real world than the House of Secrets. People are paying to actually come and watch that show. And, you know, they reacted really strongly to it, and rightfully so. It's a really great trick. So ultimately, you know, I think we gave it like, I don't know, we gave it a really great review before. It gets the best review it can possibly get because this is something that works in a kids show. It works in a stage show. You could even do this table hopping if you wanted to. Absolutely not a problem, especially with the little Lego character that you get as part of the kit as well. So 100%, this passes review show revisited. Let's look at the next trick. So the next trick we're going to be looking at is something that I reviewed recently on a 5x5, and this is the whole thing by Daryl. Now, what is the whole thing? Well, this is one of Daryl's strongest tricks, in my opinion. It came out many, many years ago, but Murphy's Magic have bought the rights to the Daryl Legacy line. And because they've got all of the Daryl's, they've got the rights to all of Daryl's tricks, they're slowly bringing out the Daryl Legacy line, which is bringing out all of the tricks that he was famous for and updating the handlings, updating the trailers, the tutorials, so on and so forth. And this trick, if you are a cabaret or a stage or a platform performer, if if you're an MC, this is worth its weight in gold. So basically what this is just a very quick bit that runs about 3 or 4 minutes. And what it does is, well, I mean, if you've never seen it before, it's bonkers. It's a little bit strange. And I got to tell you, the hardest part of this trick is learning the presentation. Because the presentation takes a while to get down, it really does. It takes a while to remember, especially when you're delivering it quite fast. And I think that the best way to do this trick is deliver it quite fast, so that it's almost like bordering the line between confusion and magic. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm going to show you the performance of this. Again, this is the House of Secrets. I actually used this as a compere piece to do as a quick bit before I brought Ryland up on stage. So, and as I say, as an MC or as a compere, this is a fantastic bit that you can do. Let's have a look at it. This is the whole thing by Daryl.
One very quick trick before we bring Ryland out. Who would like to see the world's most confusing trick? Yes! I'll show you the world's most confusing trick. Let me explain what is the world's most confusing trick. It uses 4 cards. Now these 4 cards are special. Let me explain first. This first card here is a whole card. The reason it's a whole card is because there's a hole in the card. The second card is a whole card because it's a whole card. The third card is a whole card because it's a whole card. And the fourth card is a whole card because it's got a hole in it. So we've got 2 whole cards and 2 whole cards. But the 2 whole cards that are whole cards are different to the 2 whole cards that are whole cards. Does that make sense? Now, if you reach through one of the whole cards and take out the other whole card, you'll notice that that whole card has a red back. Now, if you take the whole card and put it onto the red back whole card, that makes what looks like a spot card. It's not a spot card, it's just a whole card on a whole card with a red back. It's not a spot card. And if I snap my fingers, what happens is you get a spot there, you get a spot there, and you get a spot there. Now, that's not great, but here's what is absolutely amazing. If I take these cards and I snap my fingers, just like that, this spot card turns into a real spot card. In other words, it's not a whole card on a whole card, it's a spot card. Now, the first time I saw that, I forgot to applaud as well, but that's fine. Too little, too late. Here's the thing, if I take the spot card and I tap it against this card, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you don't get a spot card, you get a whole bunch of spots. So we've got a spot card, we've got a whole bunch of spots, and then we've got these 2 cards here. Now these 2 cards are actually a whole card and a whole card. This one's a whole card with a hole in it, this one's a whole card that's a whole card with a red back. Now if you take the whole card and you put it against the whole card like this, what happens when you snap your fingers is it looks like you get a big spot. You don't get a big spot, what you get is a hole on a spot. So what you have here is you have a big spot with a hole, you have a whole card with a red back, this one here is a whole bunch of spots, and this one here is a spot card. The only thing I don't understand is where the hole came from, and that's my story on it. Thank you very, very much. Well, the most confusing trick, I don't even follow what's going on there.
So that was the whole thing by Daryl, and as you can see, it's a really funny trick. There's lots of moments of magic, and there's lots of stuff going on. Not every trick has to be interactive. Not every trick has to have a member of the audience come up on stage. You know, you don't have to do that every single time, but it's really important to engage the audience. Now, I don't think that this would make necessarily a great kids trick without slowing the presentation down and kind of making it more obvious as to what's happening, because I think that they might get a little bit confused. But for an adult audience or a family audience, this is great. I mean, I might be wrong. I've not performed it in a kids show really, so I don't know. But I have a feeling it might be a little bit confusing for a lot of kids. Maybe, maybe not. But for a family audience, for a cabaret audience, this is worth its weight in gold. And the other nice thing about it is, it's not a card trick. It's not a card trick. It doesn't even look like a card trick. It looks like what it is, a bunch of big cards with holes in it. Now, it's worth noting that Murphy's Magic actually released 2 versions of this. They brought the stage version out and they brought the platform version out. What I just used in this performance is the stage performance. So I was actually using the bigger cards. They actually have slightly smaller cards as well. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if you want something, this is a bit of a cliche, but it's true. Pack small, plays big. This is a trick that packs very, very small, but plays to a really big audience. It literally takes up no space in your case, and yet as soon as you do it, man, people absolutely love it. So yeah, I mean, that's there's nothing else really to say about the whole thing. It's not a difficult routine to do. It's really the most difficult thing is an Elmsley count and a double lift. If you can do an Elmsley count and a double lift, you can do the trick. But I think that it's stronger than it should be, because people think that there's so many changes, all because of a couple of simple sleights. And it's genius routining by Daryl. This is Daryl at his very best, and it just shows how, how much we actually lost as an industry when Daryl unfortunately passed away. But yeah, I'd say, I gave this a really good grade when I reviewed it, and I stand by that grade. This is fantastic. And if you're one of those magicians, and I know there's a lot of them because I get comments on the channel all the time, if you're a close-up magician and you're looking to get into stage magic and you're asking yourself, how am I going to get into stage magic? What tricks can I put in my repertoire that will work on stage? This will work on the biggest stage. It really will. This will work really great. But it's also the sort of trick that you could have into your jacket pocket, your inside jacket pocket, and you could pull it out and you could do it at a like a corporate or a banquet style situation, or you could do it at a table hopping gig in a restaurant, and still you'd get a lot of people interested. And I love tricks like that where you can do them close up and you can work them in, but they're big enough to do on stage, because that's how you get on stage. You take tricks that you already know how to do and you transfer them onto stage, and this is the perfect example of something that you can put in to your stage act that will just plug in there, and it will give you 5 minutes of solid entertainment. Okay, so the final trick we're going to be looking at this week's review show revisited is the lightning bag by Cody Fisher, and Ryland's going to be performing this one. So what's the lightning bag by Cody Fisher? Well, the lightning bag by Cody Fisher, we reviewed, I don't think Ryland reviewed it. I reviewed it on a review show special of Cody's material, and it was it's a trick designed really for a stage performance, and you can make anything appear inside this see-through bag. You can make a pack of cards appear, you can make a jumbo coin appear, anything that you want to make appear, anything that will fit inside this bag you can make appear. And on the tutorial, Cody has a few really nice ideas of actually how to use this. And one of the ways that springs instantly to mind is to do an invisible deck using this deck of cards. And take it for somebody who did the Visible project. I love the Invisible deck. I've always loved the Invisible deck. The Invisible deck is incredible. And I love doing the Invisible deck in many, many different ways. And anyone that's seen Visible will know that. However, having said that, there is a time and a place where the Invisible deck routine, the classic Invisible deck routine, the routine that got the trick the name the Invisible deck in the first place, there's a time and place where that can't be beaten. And again, in the previous review, when I was reviewing Whole Thing, I talked about how there's a lot of close-up magicians that want to put an act together on stage. Well, the Invisible deck is a great trick that you can do on stage. It's another trick that packs small, plays massive. It plays to a really big audience, but it's just a pack of cards really at the end of the day. And it works as is. But if you can put a magical deck production into this as well, it becomes even more impressive. And that's what we have here, because what the lightning bag allows you to do in the case of this performance that you're about to see in a second, it allows you to show an empty bag, take out an invisible deck, go through all of the gags that you'd use with the invisible deck, and boom, they throw it back and the deck just appears. And you'll notice when Ryland does this, he doesn't spend too much time on this routine. It's not like it's a very long routine. It's very, very quick. It's over very, very quickly. But the impact that it has on the audience is quite vast. And one of the reasons for that is this is the only card trick that Ryland does on his show. So this was taken at the House of Secrets. He did 2 45-minute shows with an interval in between. And this is the only card trick he did in the whole of the performance that evening. And I think because it's the only card trick, it elevated up a lot more. But the nice thing about the lightning bag is you don't have to use it for a pack of cards. You don't have to use it for an invisible deck. That's how Ryland's chosen to use it, but you can use it in any way that you want to. Either way, let's have a look at a performance of this. So this is a performance of the lightning bag by Cody Fisher.
For this trick, you've got to use your imagination. This has got to be like one of the only card tricks in the show. Like, I use cards in the show, but I don't do card tricks. But, I mean, it's technically a card trick. But I've got the bag here. Now, if you use your imagination, you'll be able to see that there is a card box inside the bag. Now, if I take the card box out and pass it to you, okay? You got the deck. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to shuffle it. You might want to take it out of the box first. Shuffle it, yeah. Take one card out, look at it, make sure it's not a king because like kings are too common. Look at it, you got it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn it over and put it face up into a face down deck. You got it?
Yeah.
Now put the card back inside the box. Now throw the cards at me. Got them. Now, you might be able to see the cards now. This is usually the point where the imagination kicks in. So, for the first one, can you say what your card was? Now I've got the deck.
7 of clubs.
7 of clubs, are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Take this here. You sure it was the 7 of clubs? Well, look. Oh, I've got all these cards here, yeah? As you can see, there's one card turned over. You turn one card over. Now, you might be wondering why can't I see a 7 of clubs? That's because the card you turned over was the 7 of clubs.
So there you go. That's the lightning bag by Cody Fisher. My gosh, what a great trick that is. I wish you could actually feel the quality of this prop. The way that it's built, the way that it's made, it's just a dream to use. And you saw the reaction from the audience when that deck of cards appears inside that bag. It just adds an extra moment of magic. It really does. And it allows you to take a trick and put it up on stage without any extra effort. So for anybody who's a close-up magician that's looking to elevate their act, for anybody who's looking to take a close-up magician and turn them into a stage magician, this is a fantastic trick to get because you already do an invisible deck routine, I'm sure you do. And yet this allows you to take the invisible deck and add that extra moment which kind of fills the stage. And it's not very expensive. It's very well made. You don't have to just use a deck of cards with it. I mean, what's not to love? It's great. So we gave it a great review originally on the Cody Fisher Review Show Special. I stand by that. I think it's an amazing trick. It's absolutely something that should go into everybody's repertoire. So that's the Lightning Bag by Cody Fisher. So there you go, guys. That's another review show revisited in the bag. Do me a favor. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Now, you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. I'm going to be back again tomorrow with another video. So I'm going to be back again tomorrow with another video. Don't forget, if you haven't already done so, like the video, subscribe to the channel, but also go and check out the Nettricks. It's www.thenettricks.com. That's www.thenettricks.com. You can go check it out and see what all the fuss is about and see why absolutely everybody is joining the Nettricks. I'll see you again soon. Thank you so much for watching. My name's Craig from Magic TV.